These are my three audience members, Claire, Carly, and Kylie. Hi, my name is Jasmine Peterson, and today I will be giving you my persuasive speech. My topic for the day happens to be over why I think competitive cheerleading should be considered a sport. According to the Oxford Dictionary, a sport can be considered an activity involving physical exertion and skill in which individuals or teams compete against each other or others for entertainment. Did you know that there are over 400,000 high school cheerleaders across the United States, or that there are about 114,000 cheerleaders in all-star/competitive cheerleading? The first reason someone may not consider cheerleading a sport is because of how many different versions there actually are. First, there is sideline cheer. And for many people, this is the only version they think of when they hear the term cheerleader. And considering the fact that competitive cheerleading and all-star cheerleading has become so widely popular within the last 5 years, it's somewhat sad to think that this is still the version people have in their heads of the typical sideline cheerleader. But just like it sounds, sideline cheer is when you cheer for really only a said sports team, like you would be considered a football sideline cheerleader or a basketball sideline cheerleader, and there isn't near as much physical activity as when you do like an all-star routine where there's tumbling, jumps, stunting for 2.5 minutes. Or there's competitive cheerleading. One version of competitive cheerleading is through your high school, and you compete against local schools from around your town. Or there's all-star cheerleading, where you and your teammates compete against teams from across all states, or in some cases, even against different countries. Another reason someone may overlook cheerleading as a sport is because they don't think that there is competition. But considering it's called competitive cheerleading, there's obviously competition to go against. For instance, my high school cheer team always competed against at least 10 teams because that's how many schools surround our area. Or my all-star team usually competed against 3 or 4, depending on the competition. It all comes down really to what division you're in, such as I'm on a senior level 4.2 team, and the divisions are much smaller because it's not as a wide-known category. Or a junior 3 team competes against maybe 30 to 50 teams at some competitions. The third reason a person might not see cheerleading as a sport is because they don't think cheerleaders train like a typical athlete would. But what's a typical athlete? Just like any other sports team, the cheer teams go to practice 3 to 4 times a week for around 2 hours to be able to perfect their routine. Many of the cheerleaders also take what is called a private lesson to work on bettering their skills throughout the season, not only for themselves, but for their team for the next year. And this could easily add at least another hour to their work week. And not even on the athletic side, cheerleading requires the same type of teamwork, considering it's a team sport, dedication, because you have to put all the work in to make your team great, and trustworthiness, considering you're throwing girls up into the air and catching them. Any other team has when they're doing their version of a sport. Overall, there could be many other reasons people wouldn't view competitive cheerleading as a sport, but these few reasons give cheerleading a really bad reputation to the public. Today, I hope I was able to persuade you in seeing competitive cheerleading just like I do, like a sport. Thank you for listening.